And you started the live stream? There it is. Okay. Thank you.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Gurudasa Jayadvaita Swami Niti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivesesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Privrajacharya Astotra Sata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Privrajacharya Astotra Sata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Brinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyamakund Radhakund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Tulasi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaura Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol. Thank you so much, Panchatattva Prabhu. And welcome everyone for Srimad Bhagavatam class with His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami. It is Friday, May 24th, 2024 in New York. And tonight we're starting with perhaps verse number 43 from chapter 31 in third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And now I'll pass it over to our host for tonight, Radhesha Prabhu. I thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Kendra Prabhu. My obeisances to you, Guru Maharaj. Obeisances to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, especially those present here today. Feel free to message in the chat if you're willing to read today. Otherwise, I will be calling on people. Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
I have 42, by the way.
Oh, you have 42 as well.
I also got to know that it's text 42 from my friend who attended last class.
Oh, very wonderful. Thank you. I'll begin with 42. Tamatmano vijaniyat patya patya grahatmakam daivopasaditam mrityum mrigayor gayanam yata. A woman, therefore, should consider her husband, her house, and her children to be the arrangement of the external energy of the Lord for her death, just as the sweet singing of the hunter is death for the deer. Purport. In these instructions of Lord Kapila Dev, it is explained that not only is woman the gateway to hell for man, but man is also the gateway to hell for woman. It is a question of attachment. A man becomes attached to a woman because of her service, her beauty, and many other assets. And similarly, a woman becomes attached to a man for his giving her a nice place to live, ornaments, dress, and children. It is a question of attachment for one another. As long as either is attached to the other for such material enjoyment, the woman is dangerous for the man, and the man is also dangerous for the woman. But if the attachment is transferred to Krishna, both of them become Krishna conscious, and then marriage is very nice. Srila Rupa Goswami therefore recommends anasaktasya vishayan yatartam upayunjataha nirbandha Krishna sambandhe yuktam vairagim uchyate. Man and woman should live together as householders in relationship with Krishna only for the purpose of discharging duties and the service of Krishna. Engage the children, engage the wife, and engage the husband, all in Krishna conscious duties, and then all these bodily or material attachments will disappear. Since the vaya medium is Krishna, the consciousness is pure, and there is no possibility of degradation at any time. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshur Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru, Shri Juta Padakamalam, Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha, Shri Rupam Sagrajatam, Sahagana Ragunatam, Vitam Tam Sajivam, Sadvaitam Savadhutam, Parijana Sahitam, Krishna Chaitanya Devam, Shri Radha Krishna Padan, Sahagana Lalita, Shri Vishakam Vitamsha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu, Dinabandho Jagatpate, Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate, Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, Radhe Vrindavaneshwari, Vrishabhanusute Devi, Pranamami Hari Priye, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We have a comment right away from Panchatattva Prabhu. Therefore, the Vedic civilization is how to slacken it, and ultimately by force, separation, sannyas, that is required. Because unless they are separated, there cannot be, this is a quote from Srila Prabhupada. because unless they are separated, there cannot be any spiritual advancement. That is the whole process. The unity is bondage. I have written a letter that man is good, woman is good, and when they are united, they are bad. Laughter. Both of them are bad. Specifically, Srila Prabhupada laughs. Both of them are bad. And the material world is taking, this is the best thing. But actually, that is not the thing. Man is good because he is part and parcel of God. Woman is good, part and parcel of God. But when they unite, they become bad. Tayor mitadi hridayanti maho. Thank you, Panchatat Prabhu. I only have one small comment. I appreciate this this one line. It reminds me of like an ostrich putting its head in the sand to make the lion disappear. Sometimes there are fearful conditions in life, and it's fearful because we have in mind to use it for sense gratification. So when the world is your oyster and you're out for conquest, and then adversities come, they become so troublesome. But I really like this line. Engage the children, engage the wife, and engage the husband, all in Krishna conscious duties. And then all these bodily or material attachments will disappear. So that's the real way to make, it's like a magic trick. When you engage it all in Krishna's service, then suddenly the attachment disappears. And therefore, not just the attachment, but therefore the perpetual suffering of the enjoyment also disappears. That comes along with the attachment comes the suffering, the association that makes you feel I'm looking for a certain word, but that's all right. The point is understood. Well, along with the attachment comes all the other baggage that strings behind it. And when it comes to material nature, that baggage is so much trouble. We just think about with this body, all the trouble that comes with it. You try to enjoy it, but just the maintenance is so much trouble. You have to brush your teeth every morning. You have to find food. The second the stomach is begging for food, then you have to, it demands and you must obey. And the same thing with wife and children. I remember when my first son was born, he was crying and my wife was asking me for something. He wanted milk and my wife wanted, there's something called a boppy pillow. And it's used around her waist to assist in breastfeeding. And so she was asking for that. And I spontaneously made up a little chant. I said, he wants some milk. He wants it now. She wants the boppy. She wants it now. I've got a family, demanding family. And so I said it like a chant and I made it humorous and she laughed, appreciated it. But that's the fact, is that all of these things are taxing. You know, they want it and they want it now. And it becomes a source of, instead of enjoyment, it becomes a distressful position. Unless it's engaged in Krishna service, then the attachment disappears and everything disappears. It becomes enjoyable, blissful in Krishna service. So I pass it to you, Maharaj. Guru Maharaj, if you have some further thoughts on this topic or the quote by Srila Prabhupada that Panchatat Prabhu shared.
Yeah, this is both sides of it. On one side, man is Maya for the woman is Maya for the man. Man is good, woman is good. Together they're not good. That's one side. And the other side is, let everything and everyone be engaged in Krishna's service. Then everything is good. Then everything is good. So this is our program, to be always engaged in Krishna's service. We may be in sannyas or brahmachari life, or we may be in householder life. But if we're engaged in the service of Krishna, then we're on the transcendental platform.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. All right, I'm told in the chat, Panchatat Prabhu, if you're willing to read, will you take us through verse 43?
Sure. Dehena jiva bhutena lokalokam anubrajan pungjana eva karmani karotya viratam puman. Translation. Due to his particular type of body, the materialistic living entity wanders from one planet to another, following fruitive activities, In this way, he involves himself in fruitive activities and enjoys the result incessantly. Purport. When the living entity is encaged in the material body, he is called Jiva Bhuta. And when he's free from the material body, he is called Brahma Bhuta. By changing his material body birth after birth, he travels not only in the different species of life, but also from one planet to another. Lord Chaitanya says that the living entity bound up by fruitive activities, Lord Chaitanya says that the living entities bound up by fruitive activities are wandering in this way throughout the whole universe. And if by some chance or by pious activities, they get in touch with a bona fide spiritual master by the grace of Krishna, then they get the seed of devotional service. After getting this seed, if one sows it within his heart and pours water on it by hearing and chanting, the seed grows into a big plant, and there are fruits and flowers which the living entity can enjoy, even in this material world. That is called the Brahma Bhuta stage. In his designated condition, the living entity is called materialistic. And upon being freed from all designations, when he's fully Krishna conscious, engaged in devotional service, he is called liberated. Unless one gets the opportunity to associate with the bona fide spiritual master by the grace of the Lord, there is no possibility of one's liberation from the cycle of birth and death in the different species of life and through the different grades of planets. Om Ajnana Timarandasya Gnanjana Salakaya Chakshumritam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. So this wheel of samsara, it doesn't merely involve one body after another, but as we're being reminded here, it involves residence in different bodies and different planets. We think, oh, may take birth again on this planet and not sure how I'll come out, how things will be. But actually, the living entity can move. Sarvagata, he can go in different directions, as is said here. From one planet, he said, found out they are following fruitive activities in the translation. The materialistic living entity wanders from one planet to another, following fruitive activities. It's his desires taking him this way, that way. Where can I enjoy? Where can I enjoy? In one sense, he's following fruitive activities. In another sense, he doesn't know where he's going. He's being propelled along by the results of his past activities and his desires. This is all being determined by a higher authority. So again, Srila Prabhupada, there's some paper rustling. Again, Srila Prabhupada's reminding us that without the mercy of a pure devotee, without the mercy of a bona fide spiritual master, there's no possibility of getting out of that kind of constant cycle, that repetitive cycle of birth and death. We want to enjoy here, the price is death, the price is old age, the price is disease, the price is birth again, the price is all of the different afflictions of material nature that torture us throughout this life for brief moments of so-called happiness. That's the price we pay. And it's so conditioning that we accept it as worthwhile and pleasurable. And without hearing from a bona fide spiritual master, we remain in constant illusion under the influence of the three modes of nature, thinking this is good, this is bad, this is better. I got something better today. It's better than yesterday. Or now things are really bad, but it'll get better eventually. This isn't our real home. We're cast off into another region of suffering and disappointment. And the best way to come to our senses is by hearing from a pure devotee of Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Any further thoughts, Guru Maharaj, on this verse? Otherwise, we have something in the chat.
I'm reminded Purusha Prakriti Stohi Bhukte Prakriti Jangunan Karanam Guna Samgasya Sadasad Yoni Janmashu. The living entity is stuck in material existence because of wanting to enjoy what's produced by the three modes of nature. And that becomes the source of attachment to those modes, and sadasad yoni, janmashu. He has to take birth in higher or lower species, or as pointed out, on different planets, one to another. And he's engaged, what is that? In fruitive activities. That's the business of enjoyment. Bhukte prakriti jangunan. So he's busy trying to enjoy. And the result is sadasad yoni, janmashu. Aviratam, incessantly. All right.
All right, we have some things in the chat. First from Ras Prabhu. Hare Krishna Maharaj, what does Prabhupada mean by some chance? How is this compatible with everything happening by design? And what kinds of pious activities pave the way for the contact with the bona fide spiritual master?
By chance means, sometimes Prabhupada says by good fortune, but it's by the desire of a devotee or the desire of Krishna. Finally, nothing is just random, but there's the free will of the devotee, the independence, yadvichchaya, by his own desire. The pure devotee wants to benefit someone, and the person's benefited. So that's, you can say, by chance, or by the desire of the devotee. Now there were two parts there to that question. Let me look again. Scroll. What kinds of pious activities? Yes. Pious activities means bhakti sukriti. He must have done some devotional service in his previous life, because one can't get devotional service merely by pious activities, by public welfare work, or by some other kind of, by charity, by austerity, by sacrifice. Only by some previous good fortune in the form of devotional service does one get the opportunity to perform devotional service. So that begins, where do we find the beginning of that chain? It's by the mercy of Krishna and the spiritual master. Guru Krishna Prasade Pai, Brahmanda Bhumite Kon. What is that?
It's in the chat, Guru Maharaj. Praveen Krishna Prabhu has already supplied that in the chat.
It's already supplied it. Kon Bhagavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai. So Guru Krishna Prasad Pai, by the mercy of Krishna and the spiritual master, Bhakti Lata Bij, one gets the seed of devotional service. That's called by chance.
Oh, I'm sorry. I gave Praveen Krishna Prabhu credit. It was Panchatattva Prabhu. We have another comment from Saraswati Devi saying that a local devotee said that the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra doesn't appear in any of the Vedas. So how that seems impossible that it doesn't appear anywhere. I know it's in the Kali Santarana Upanishad, Guru Maharaj, Iti Shodashakam Nam, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra appears. But also that's only in one place in an Upanishad. Is there anywhere else?
That's all you need. You don't need it in 100 places. Upanishads are part of the Vedas. There you are.
All right, there you go. We have another comment from Panchatattva Prabhu and the following verse. Mali hanya kare se bija aropana, shavana kirtana jale kare se chana. When a person receives the seed of devotional service, he should take care of it by becoming a gardener and sowing the seed in his heart. If he waters the seed gradually by the process of shavana and kirtana, hearing and chanting, the seed will begin to sprout. Very nice. From Pratipurna Madhavi Devi Dasi, in context to previous verse, if children and spouse can't be engaged in Krishna service, and in case of abusive marriage, is separation the solution, so at least one party can practice bhakti?
In general, this material arrangement should just be accepted. All right, I don't like my wife so much, I don't like my husband so much, whatever it is, but it's taken as a duty that we've accepted this marriage vow, and so we stick with it. Not that we say, well, no, this is an obstruction. But in extreme cases, yes, then there's separation. In the Vedic culture, there's no divorce, but there may be separation. The wife may go live with her parents or brother, like that, separation. But generally, tam statikshu subharata, we tolerate our wife, we tolerate our husband. Ideally, everything is favorable for spiritual advancement. But if not favorable, we tolerate. But then at some mature stage, sannyas may be in the picture, or as you've mentioned, separation.
Thank you very much. And then Praveen Krishna Prabhu says in regard to the Maha Mantra, it also appears in Sri Caitanya Bhagavat. So we have the Maha Mantra is bona fide. I have a very, Saraswati Devi asks, which Upanishad? Kali Santarana. You can find that if you look, Srila Prabhupada quotes it in Caitanya-caritamrta, Adi Leela, chapter 3, verse 40. Adi 3:40, if you want to find where Srila Prabhupada is quoting Kali Santarana Upanishad. I have a brief comment and a question, Guru Maharaj. This section that Srila Prabhupada quotes regarding Brahma Bhuta being this devotional platform, the prachetas are being glorified by the Lord. He says, I'm very tushti, I'm very happy that all of you are making friendships with each other. Sauhardena and Sauhardena, he uses the word twice, that because you are all engaged in devotional service, you've become very friendly to each other. And I was thinking that in marriage relationships, there's so much regarding this, domestic violence or difficulties. A lot of these are because of lack of Krishna consciousness. And a lot of times devotees have disagreements and difficulties, and it's just because of a lack of advancement in Krishna consciousness, egos getting in the way. So Krishna particularly appreciated the friendships of the prachetas. Oh, you had something?
When the spirit is there of sense gratification, then kama krodho vijayate. Then when sense gratification is frustrated, there's anger. That's one of the creations of Brahma, I believe, is anger after frustration. So we expect sense gratification. And when we don't get sense gratification, then we're angry. It's your fault that I'm not enjoying. I'd be enjoying if it weren't for you. And then there's anger. Then there's anger. And then there can be violence and so on. What is that? Krodha bhavati sammoha. One becomes bewildered, forgets, oh, this is my wife. He clobbers her with a pipe or something. So this is the mode of passion gone wild. passion and ignorance. But the root cause is the unachievable desire for sense gratification, or the desire for unachievable sense gratification. By divine arrangement, some amount of sense gratification will be there no matter what, not less and not more. So the self-realized person just accepts, all right, this is what it is, and doesn't become frustrated, angry, and so on. Anyway, my business is not sense gratification. My business is Krishna consciousness. So let me just accept whatever it is materially and focus on my real business, devotional service.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. I was thinking though that that's just tolerating each other. That you've made it to a point, but it seems like even above, if devotees can find a way to become friends, then it's very pleasing to.
Yeah, husband and wife should at least be friends, or at least they should tolerate one another. But yes, they should be friends. All right, this is a nice arrangement. I have a nice husband. He provides this and this and this. I have a nice wife. She provides this, this, and this, and together we're able to serve Krishna. So then it's friendly. Neither one is an impediment to the sense gratification of the other. They're both focused on serving Krishna. So then the wife is good, husband is good. Prabhupada said that man is good, woman is good, but together bad. But when they're both engaged in this service of Krishna, then even together, good. And Soradena, as you pointed out, they become friends for spiritual progress. What is that? The whole world becomes friendly for the devotee. Everything becomes engaged. As Prabhupada said, let the wife be engaged, let the husband be engaged, children be engaged. Then the whole environment becomes friendly.
And attachment disappears. We have a comment regarding separation. Ananta Shesh Prabhu says, if one tries to circumvent one's situation, he or she will have to finish out one's karma in some way, I heard.
Well, material solutions, yes, but we're not supposed to be on the platform of karma, no karma. We're supposed to be on the platform of duty and devotional service. Not that if someone takes sannyas, then he has to someplace finish his grahastha karma. No. Or that if husband and wife make some arrangement for devotional service that's not in terms of material expectations, and somehow or other the material expectations have to be lived out in this life or the next. No. If everything is dedicated to Krishna, then that's everything.
We have another comment. This is from Saraswati Devi. In many families, the wife is the main provider financially, and the husband is homemaker. But there can be some resentments in the relationship because of ego clashing. I had a question in this purport, Guru Maharaj. This Brahma Bhuta platform, we understand this in Bhagavad Gita to be Nashochati Nakangshati, but it's sort of not in a positive sphere. And I know in Ramananda Rai Samvad, that's the last point in which Mahaprabhu still says Eho Bahya Age Kaha Are. And it's not until he gets to Jnane Prayasam and Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavitamati that Mahaprabhu starts giving him the thumbs up. So I'm just curious if you have any thoughts regarding this in today's purport as Brahma Bhuta being expressed on the positive platform of engagement and devotional service, and not just Nashochati Nakangshati, just the baseline spiritual platform.
Samasarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate para. From the Brahma Bhuta platform, the next stage is devotional service. Prabhupada often does this. He he just brings things up to the platform of devotional service. Technically, Brahmabhuta just means self-realized. But what is self-realized? If you're self-realized, then you have to act like you're self-realized, or act as a self-realized person. What is that spiritual action? It's devotional service. So Prabhupada's, what would you say, up-leveling it to devotional service. So for our understanding, so that we don't waste our time just trying to become self-realized. Self-realization will come automatically in the context of devotional service. So Prabhupada's emphasizing that. Although technically you can say Brahmabhuta just means the spiritual platform. So again, what is the spiritual platform? Devotional service.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Shall we continue with verse 44? Do we have any volunteers, or shall I call names?
Before you get there, 43, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's purport is worth looking at. It's always worth looking at, but he has an extensive purport here.
I can read it if you like.
Or I can read it. Or
Okay.
I think Kendra sounds like he's resting his voice today. Repeated birth and death of the jiva is described. There's a doubt. The jiva enjoys the results in Svarga or other places by giving up the body by which he performs sinful or pious acts. What's the logic in that? You should experience the results in the same body. In answer, this verse says that he enjoys the results with the body by which he performed his acts, that is, by the subtle body. By the subtle body, jiva bhutena dehena, he wanders from the earth to Svarga or hell. He performs actions by the acquisition of false identity caused by the subtle body. Going to other places is possible because of the jiva's illusion. In that place, he enjoys bhunjana. Finishing that enjoyment, he again returns to the earth. He then performs further actions. Thus, he performs actions and enjoys in the subtle body. That is explained in this verse. Why? Yes, so that's the point. The jiva's, the subtle body is the basic cause of material existence, starting with false ego. I identify with this body, then I perform activities meant for this or that, and therefore I'm going up, I'm going down, I'm going here, I'm going there, all in the subtle body. And that extends from one lifetime to another. This material gross body is left behind. When I leave this body, that's it, gone. But the subtle body is still with me, and that's the cause of my, or the cause, or you can say the instrument for my going from here, going here and there.
Thank you very much. All right. Saraswati Devi, you're active in the chat, but we haven't heard you read in a while. Do you have the verse pulled up? Would you like to read?
Yes, sorry, we're at 43 now.
44.
Yes, 44. Jivo hi asyungnuga deho bhutendriya manomaya tannirodho swamana maranam avirbhavastu sambhavaha. Translation: in this way, the living entity gets a suitable body with a material mind and senses according to his fruitive activities.
When the reaction of his particular activity comes to an end, that end is called death. And when a particular type of reaction begins, that beginning is called birth. Purport. From time immemorial, the living entity travels in the different species of life and the different planets almost perpetually. This process is explained in Bhagavad Gita. Paramayan sarva bhutani yantroyutani mayaya. Under the spell of Maya, everyone is wandering throughout the universe on the carriage of the body offered by the material energy. Materialistic life involves a series of actions and reactions. It is a long film spool of actions and reactions, and one lifespan is just a flash in such a reactionary show. When a child is born, it is to be understood that his particular type of body is the beginning of another set of activities. And when an old man dies, it is to be understood that one set of reactionary activities is finished. We can see that because of different reactionary activities, one man is born in a rich family and another is born in a poor family, although both of them are born in the same place at the same moment and in the same atmosphere. One who is carrying pious activity with him is given a chance to take his birth in a rich or pious family, and one who is carrying impious activity is given a chance to take birth in a lower, poor family. The change of body means a change to a different field of activities. Similarly, when the body of the boy changes into that of a youth, the boyish activities change into youthful activities. It is clear that a particular body is given to the living entity for a particular type of activity. This process is going on perpetually from a time which is impossible to trace out. Vaishnava poets say therefore anadi karmana phala, which means that these actions and reactions of one's activity cannot be traced, for they may even continue from the last millennium of Brahma's birth to the next millennium. We have seen the example in the life of Narada Muni. In one millennium, he was the son of a maidservant, and in the next millennium, he became a great sage. Om Gyanantimirindasya Gananjana Salakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I'm just thinking of how they've mentioned about Narad Muni, how in one millennium he was the son of a maidservant, and if I remember, during the Chaturmas season, he served the Vaishnavas there because his mother apparently died while he was very young, so he was completely devoted during the Chaturmas rainy season in serving the Vaishnavas, which included partaking in the remnants of the prasadam that they had honored. And in this way, through this close association and completely in a selfless way of serving, being devoted to these great Vaishnavas, he himself became, of course, the Narad Dev Rishi, Narad Muni, the spiritual master of so many great devotees. Just to list Prahlad Maharaj, the Prachetas, and Dhruva Maharaj. So, of course, he's very famous in our line of the Brahma Sampradaya. But I also remember that I don't know which millennium this would be, but he also said that he was a Gandharva in one of his lives, and that while there was a Sankirtan taking place, he didn't care about that, and he was busy in sense gratification. And if I seem to recall, I thought he was cursed then to become the son of a maidservant. I can't remember exactly, but I sort of remember that he was a Gandharva who couldn't care less about the Sankirtan and the chanting that was taking place. He was completely engrossed in sense gratification. But from what my take is this simple, selfless service to the great Vaishnavas and the Lord's mercy on him by having his mother die while he was so young, and therefore he, in one sense, he was sort of completely helpless. This accelerated his process in surrendering to Krishna through serving the great Vaishnavas. So this is just something that I thought of. Hare Krishna.
Any further thoughts, Guru Maharaj, on this verse?
Yeah. This was following on from the previous verse. The living entity gets a suitable body with a material mind and senses according to his fruitive activities. As we've heard from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in the previous verse, this is happening because of the subtle body. So I'm reminded, Shariram Yadavapnoti Chapyut Kramati Sharaha Grihit Vaitani Samyati Vayur Gandham Ivashaya. The living entity is wandering around. Shariram Yadavapnoti Chapyut Kramati Sharaha. He's getting a particular body, then he's giving up that body, then he's accepting another body. Then Shrotram Chakshu Sparshanam Cha Rasanam Kranam Evacha Adhishtaya Manaschayam Vishayanupasevate. So because of his subtle body, he gets a particular kind of gross body. Because of his mentality, because of his consciousness, he gets a particular kind of gross body, particular kind of ear, particular kind of eye, a particular sense of touch, particular tongue, all because of the mind. And when we get that particular body, gross body, that's called birth. When we give it up, that's called death. Actually, for the soul, there's no birth or death. Nahanyate hanyamani shirire. But because of our identification with the body, because of this mentality of wanting to enjoy a particular kind of particular set of senses, Vishayanupasevate, because of a particular set of senses, we're aligned with a particular set of sense objects, and that's my life. Then everything's smashed, death, then again. Yes. So interesting that this is birth and death. In one sense, it's all illusory, but it appears in that form, and we identify it with it. There was an old television show, This Is Your Life, and the subject of the show, an ordinary person would be invited, and then he'd be shown, he'd meet his old friends and his old relatives, and this is your life. But it's not your life. This is all Maya. This is all the one spool of a film. But my real life is my eternal life with Krishna. But since time immemorial, we're turning away from Krishna, and Anadi-karamapale. We're, since time immemorial, engaged in trying to enjoy this material world.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. We have a couple of things in the chat. Previously, Priti Purna Madhavi Devidasi quotes Isha Upanishad verse 7. I'm no longer certain of the context. Mata, maybe you can share in the comments if you want to state the context of that verse, and we'll discuss it. After that, Ananta Shesh Prabhu, I believe this is in regard to Narada Muni's various pastimes, said millennium of Brahma's birth is beyond our conception in terms of number of years. And then Panchatattva Prabhu gives this from Gitavali, Anadi Karmapale, Padi Bhavarnava Jale, Torivare Nade Ki Upai. Because of my past fruitive activities, I have now fallen into an ocean of nescience. I cannot find any means to get out of this great ocean, which is indeed like an ocean of poison. We're trying to be happy through sense enjoyment. But actually, that so-called enjoyment is like food that is too hot and causes burning in the heart. I feel a burning sensation constantly, day and night, and thus my mind cannot find satisfaction. And from Pratipurnamata, tendency to enjoy for millennium after millennium must be such strong conditioning for us to enjoy instead of serve repeatedly. We are helpless without the mercy. This mercy has to be causeless, as we can't do enough to deserve it after doing all sinful activities for millions of years.
Yes.
We heard recently in a class here that this anadi and ananta concepts can't be understood from our material reference, except in the negative. That, you know, if you say that you have a rasgula, its non-existence was anadi until it was created. Its non-existence was eternal until it was made, and after you eat it, then its non-existence will be ananta. So only in terms of the negative can these eternality be expressed. I thought it was a nice example. But in spiritual life, these things are reality. The eternal enjoyment of the living entity is expressed in the positive. We have a comment from Saraswati Devi. I remember a conversation I had with a born-again Christian who argued that there is no incarnation, but had no answer when I asked why there are different life situations and different people, like born in wealthy, poor family, born with disabilities, etc. If we only have one life, but we are not all starting at the same starting line in the race of life. Good point.
Yes. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the jiva goes from the earth on dying, goes from the earth on dying, and enjoys in Swarga. Returning from Swarga, he's born here. From where does the conception of death and birth arise? The subtle body, jiva, the covering on the jiva, and the gross body, both of which accompany the jiva, combine into one to form in the place of enjoyment and become the body, senses, and mind. So this all comes together, the subtle body, the gross body, the living entity, they all become amalgamated, and that's called birth. The disintegration of that combination is death for the jiva. That is the state after leaving one gross body and prior to attaining the next gross body. In states such as deep sleep, the capacity for actions remains, even though no actions are performed. Since when deep sleep is broken, immediately one sees the capacity for actions. So that's what does that mean? When we're asleep, we still have the latent capability to act. We still have desire to act, but because we're asleep, we're not acting. But when we wake up, again, it's there. So the seed of desire for the seed of desire for material existence is still there in the subtle body at the time of death, and therefore it sprouts into the next lifetime of fruit of activity, even over millenniums, from one lifetime to another, from one creation of Brahma to another. The appearance of the combination is called birth, sambhava. It occurs at the time of coming out of the womb, after attaining another gross body, after having given up an old body.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. We have one more comment, and then perhaps we'll go to Kirtan, because we've reached the end. From Venkatesh Prabhu, Hare Krishna Maharaj, is it that promotion in spiritual life always comes with a price tag, tests? Narada, boy, had to face severe challenges after his service to the sages, yet fixed on what he heard from spiritual masters, he attained success.
Promotion in spirit comes in the form of there's always tests. There's always tests, inevitably. Because we have this body, because we have this mind, there must always be tests. But if we engage in the service of Krishna, then there's promotion. But promotion doesn't always come from a test. Promotion may come just service and more service. Test or no test, if one serves Krishna, one is promoted. But the nature of life in this world is that there are generally tests, and when one passes the test, then that demonstrates devotion, or even strengthens or enhances devotion. Finally, death is the test. Prabhupada quotes a Bengali proverb to that effect, that the final test comes at the time of death. When we pass that test, Tyakvadeha punarjanma naiti mamiti.
Jai. Well, we've reached our end. Perhaps I can call upon. We haven't heard from you, Krishna Kantaya Prabhu, in some time. Would you like to lead our closing kirtan? If you are there. Do we have another?
There he is.
Jai. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Om Vishnupada Brahmasanakai Rajanchari Astotra Satasri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai ISKCON founder and Charya saviors of the world, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Prem Se Ho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakti Ki Jai. Sri Radha Krishna Govinda Shamakun Radhaku Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Jai Sri Guru Guranga. Jai.
I was waiting for a Kendra Prabhu to pop on. He has the better closing words.
Oh, the thing is, there are so many nice things posted in the chat. I thought you were going to be right on those items right away.
Oh, I was gonna let those go because we'd reached time. But if everyone wants to hang out for 3 more minutes, we can run through the chat. It is quite nice. Praveen Krishna Prabhu started us off with a reference to Guru Maharaj's statement. It will be tested at the time of death. Bhajana kara, pujana kara, marti janile hoy. Your devotional service will be tested at the time of death. And then Venkatesh Prabhu thanks you, Maharaj, for emphasizing that on serving Krishna always. Emphasizing serving Krishna always. Tests will be there. As we have mind, body, and nature of this world, one who serves Krishna gets promoted. And then I said, Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatare sharanam, shayanam. Iha samsare bahudusthare, kripaya pare bhahi murare. Again and again one is born, again and again one dies, again and again one sleeps in the mother's womb. Please help me cross, O Murari, this limitless ocean of birth and death, which is uncrossable. And then Panchatattva Prabhu has this very nice conversation. Atreya Rishi Prabhu says, Srila Prabhupada, that Krishna is testing us every day. We're having tests, opportunities. Srila Prabhupada, no. Just like if you want responsible post, then there's question of test. If you want to become a vagabond, remain vagabond. What is question of test? Atreya Rishi, no, for devotees. Prabhupada, devotees there is test. For devotees there is test. We see from the devotee's life, Prahlad Maharaj, how much severe test he had to pass through. Balir Maharaj, Narada Muni, Atreya Rishi. And the most advanced the devotee is, the more severe the test is, the more chance. Prabhupada, no. After you pass the examination, there's no more test. But before coming to the post of recognized devotee, Krishna tests very severely. That one has to pass. And then Murari Jai, thank you, Maharaj. Oh, just thanking. Samaveda Bhakta Ki Jai. Jai. Thank you all so much. Kendra Prabhu, I pass it to you for your closing words.
Thank you, Radhesha Prabhu, and thank you, Krishna Konteyaji, for the kirtan. Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj Ki Jai.
Samaveta Bhakta Ki Jai.
Aye.
Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari.
Thank
you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you, Guru
Hare
Maharaj.
Krishna.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Jai.